What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no more. Happy Valentine Day. We are here on our Coffee Talkie show to talk to you about the importance of like unconditional love, but not the one you're thinking about. Not the one towards everyone else. It's a vulnerable episode. We're gonna probably share some stuff. I don't know, like it's gonna come out.
Sure.
But we're here to talk to you about unconditional love, about yourself, your unconditional love, and like why this is right now your time to love yourself. And it's the 14th of February 2023, and we're here to talk to you about time is now to love yourself unconditionally.
Absolutely. So we really hope you have your coffee with you, or your tea or wine, whatever suits you best. And come on, let's dig. I love you.
I love you. Let's start today.
So, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Never understood this, thing, and to be honest, really not celebrating it, But this topic of love, and especially loving yourself, is a topic that we love talking about, and we've been into this, subject for a couple of years now, maybe even more. And it's our own journey, to love ourselves. We weren't there, like always.
You're always saying it wasn't love at first sight. Well, definitely it wasn't. And just a couple of weeks ago, we were interviewed in another podcast of the coconut soul. You're gonna see it in. We're gonna share about it, but we shared. How did we got to where we are right now? What we're doing right now? We're helping women from all over the world, but it didn't come to us just like that. We weren't born to doing this. We came to this because we went through a long journey of reconnecting to ourselves and learning to love ourselves really for who we are, even when it's completely messy. And guess what? Same as love with everyone else, you have better days and you have less funky days. And sometimes it doesn't feel like love, but this is actually love. When you still love with the flaws and with the qualities and with everything else, and it's unconditional.
Yeah, that's exactly why we wanted to talk about this unconditional love. Like, I don't know about you, think about it for a moment. You might say, I love myself when I'll be successful in my career, for example. When I'll lose those 5 kilos that I want. I love myself when I have longer hair or shorter hair, or if I'll dress in a different way, or if I'll be more, confident in myself. Then I can love myself more. And all those conditions you put to yourself really prevents you from loving yourself. And we've said it before so many times, but how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself first? Who you are, and who you are right now, as you are right now, not as your ideal self, because this doesn't exist, at least right now. Right now you are who you are.
Yeah.
Like, with all the good and the bad, the advantages and the flaws, it's all there. It's all you. It's your, how you look, your body, your face, but also your qualities, your values, your beliefs, the things that scares you. It's all the package, with a red bow on top. That's you. And we're here to tell you, you gotta love this package that you have in front of you right now.
Yeah, and I want to give you, like, you are currently either planning to live abroad or you're living abroad. And it's already so many things that are changing in your life. But guess what? you are still you. And as Mayan said, you don't have to wait until things to happen or to resolve, or until you find a job, or you settle in, or you do that, or you do that, or you go back, or to love yourself. You came to a new country. You're going to a new country. You're gonna wake up with yourself, and you're gonna go to bed with yourself. We had another episode about it, why we believe the relationship with yourself is the foundation to a healthy life abroad. And you can go and listen to it on another episode that we've recorded a couple of weeks ago. But really, it's about you. And when you put those conditions on, why can't you love yourself right now? Because this, all those are excuses that are just keeping you away from really being yourself and really enjoying who you are as a person. And you're an amazing person.
Yeah.
You should enjoy it. But it's hard.
Even if you don't feel like you're amazing right now,
Yeah.
that's totally fine, but you still gotta love this person that you are right now. Because it's easy to love something that is perfect, right? Like, oh my God, look at her, she's perfect, I can love her, but not me. But it's even more important to love something that is not perfect.
Yeah.
Because this is you, and that's okay. Nobody's perfect. I'm gonna tell you, it's a secret. Like, nobody talks about it, but nobody is perfect. And the bigger thing is to love yourself with all the unperfect things that you have inside of you.
And we're loving a lot of people around us that are not perfect. We love them, truly. We love our siblings.
But do you, when you love someone who is not perfect, I want to ask you for real, like, do you love someone that is not perfect, is not perfect, or she's not perfect, but you kind of idealize this person, and you sometimes put aside all those imperfections?
I don't think so. I think that's true love. I think you see the differences. You see that they're not perfect, and you still, regardless of those things, you still love them.
Yeah.
And
I think we can maybe even learn to love a person even more because of
the flaws.
Yeah.
Because they have this oh gosh, you always make this thing, but I love you for
I
that.
hate it and I love it.
Yeah, it's it's that thing. And when I said it's true with siblings, you see it a lot with siblings, I think. And I hear it a lot from my friends and about their siblings. But you see it with parents,
partners,
friends. You even have this love-hate kind of relationship sometimes with your colleagues at work or your boss. I guess you have it with kids. Your kids are kids are
perfect.
No, they're not.
I'm just joking. I'm joking, of course. But a mother's love is a great example for unconditional love, because no matter what they'll do, I still love them. And I always tell them no matter what you do, I will love you. I can be really mad at you, but I still love you. And that's a great example for unconditional love. But again, let's bring it to ourselves. It's much harder to do that on yourself.
The reason why I mentioned it was because we do it a lot. But it's easier for us to think that because it's someone else, then we need to accept them as they are. I have this McDonald's ad in my head, come as you are. But there is this notion that because it's someone else, you're not gonna change them. You try, we all try, but we're not gonna change them. And we accept them as they are. And not only accept them, we love them for who they are. And then when it comes to us, it's yeah, but that's too hard. Yeah, that's impossible.
Maybe I don't want to love this person that I am right now, because maybe I want to get better and then I'll love myself. And you know what? That's kind of, a part of acceptance, of accepting the situation as it is, then move forward, instead of, running away from a situation that you don't like and wanting to do something else, be someone else. But actually, if you want to be something else or someone else, then you first need to love the situation and yourself in this situation,
Yeah.
then you'll be able to move forward and change what you want to change. Changes, you can change yourself. You can change everything about yourself, actually. You can. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of training, a lot of practice, a lot of, digging deep inside. Sometimes it's not comfortable. It's not nice at all, but you can do that. But it's harder, or maybe even impossible, in my opinion, to do that, to move forward, to really make real changes, unless you love your starting point right now, and then change. And I want to go back maybe to a couple of years ago for us, where loving ourselves wasn't something that, first of all, we didn't talk about it, but it wasn't even present. Okay, so no self-love. And then we'll talk maybe about the fact that even today, when we are more aware of this self-love and unconditional love towards yourself, there are days where it's harder.
Yeah.
You don't really like it. And then we'll give you some tips and things you can actually start practicing today in order to learn to love yourself unconditionally.
Yeah. So we'll get to this in a moment. But yeah, let's go back 6, 7.
There you can go 20, 30.
20.
How many years?
Yeah. I don't remember that long ago.
Do you want to go back to the moment you started shifting towards loving yourself and accepting like this person as it is and loving it?
I think that there were a lot of moments in my life, but I want to go back to a moment. I said it was about 7 years ago, probably. Yeah, something like that. I was working very hard. I was heartbroken with a crazy, not so good love story. And I hated myself. I really hated myself. I hated the fact that I let other people treat me the way they treated me. I hated the fact that I couldn't put any boundaries, that like people could do whatever they want. And I was like, yeah, well, bring it on. And I didn't like my home. So I did everything I could to not get there. So I would work many hours. And I can tell you all of that right now because I've went through a journey to understand that this is a thing. But back then, I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why things are so hard. But I was miserable, really miserable. And I was really good at being poker face, really, really good at that. And I think poker face is one of the symptoms that you don't love yourself, truly. Because if you have to put a mask on so that you can actually go outside the house and be with other people and never try to be yourself around them because you don't like who you are and what you see, then you put those masks on. And for me, it was a 20 hours a day. Like I gave myself a couple of hours of sleeping without a mask on. But yeah, I really didn't like that. And I had to like start digging deeper into understanding what it is. And I'll share with you that the moment that started shifting it, I was working with my life coach at the time, and she said to me the sentence that you know by heart because we've shared it like a million times since. And I remember like sitting there, we sit in like a beautiful coffee place, and she said to me the sentence, "What's in my reality is what I want." And I looked at her and I started crying like crazy, and I was angry, and I was like, how dare you telling me that this reality that I'm explaining to you how miserable I am is what I want? And she had at least as beautiful eyes as I have, with her beautiful blue eyes, she looked at me and she was like, yes, you do. You want it. And I was like, I was pissed off. It's like, until the moment you understand that this is it, that this reality is what you want, we will never be able to make a change. So she sent me back home. I had to clean my face, put my beautiful poker face on, and go back to work and dig deep and understand why this reality is what I wanted. And that's when I started revealing it. I started revealing that I hated how I allowed other people to treat me. It was me. It was not about them. I allowed it. I hated the fact that I didn't create a life I actually enjoyed living. The life consumed me. It passed by me. I didn't like my house. I didn't like some of my friends. I didn't like my body. I gained a lot of weight. And I was like, how did it even happen? And it was easy for me to blame others for what I used to eat and not eat. And why have I done this? And only then I started working toward this. And that's where, when we say to you why this is your time to really start, it's because, I love this sentence. When now will be a good time?
Now.
Not in 5 minutes, not 10 minutes ago, not in a year.
Not after your move, not during your move, not after
right.
10 years.
It's when it hits you that you need to be like, okay, now I'm doing this. And it was hard.
It's so hard, and maybe my story can, continue yours, because it's so hard to finally take that mask off. And you say to yourself, be honest enough with yourself, saying, this is not who I really am. I'm trying to be someone in order to please others, in order to, feel more comfortable in this life I created, in my reality. But this is not who I am. So I'm going to take this mask off and start working on myself. And this is so scary. And when I did that, and I really remember this, I decided to be myself. And I looked at myself at the mirror and I really didn't like it. But this is me. I couldn't, physically, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. Every time I went to brush my teeth, I'm like, who's this crazy decorator that decided above everything that has to be a mirror? Because how I can brush my teeth without looking at a mirror? It was so hard. I was brushing my teeth with my eyes closed because it was so hard for me to see the true me. And we'll go to the tips later, and this is one amazing exercise to do, to look at yourself in the mirror. But it is so hard, and I really didn't like anything about myself. I didn't like how my face looked. I remember at one point I even looked at myself in the mirror. I was wearing shorts and I'm like, I hate my knees. And the moment I said that, I was like, who cares about your knees? These are your knees. It's functional, they're great, functioning great. But who cares how they look, So wear jeans if you want to. But why don't I like my knees? It's so crazy. And I did not like how I behaved and how I reacted. And everything I did, I started questioning myself because I did not like what I did. But I knew I had to love myself unconditionally with those knees and this face and this behavior. And, it's like a process of healing, when you love yourself from a place you're weak. I was weak. I was super weak. And it's hard to love a weak person.
Yeah.
It's harder than to love a strong person. But if you don't love yourself when you're weak, you'll never love yourself when you're strong.
No. because you'll always remember those moments. And this life coach back then told me something, because I wanted to quit my job. Because one of the things that I realized back then, when I was like, you know what, I'm quitting. If this is so hard and this makes me miserable, I'm quitting. It's like, no, you're not. Because you never quit anything when you're low. You quit when you make other people tell you, gosh, I can't believe you're quitting. And it's true for love. It's true for life. It's true for relationship. It's true for career. It's true for everything. It's true for changing countries. You don't run away from the things. You make a decision because it's better for you. And you know it's better for you because you listen to you and you love what you say. And you make the decision because they're good for you. Because you put yourself first. And you can never put yourself first if you don't love yourself. And this is what I worked with her for about a year to get to the point where I could say, okay, now I'm in a great place. I love myself, really, and I can quit. And I can go inside and not be like, listen, like going with my head in between my legs and be like, I'm gonna quit, okay? And don't ask me anything. I came and I was like, damn it, I'm quitting, and I'm super happy about that. But it's not easy to get there. And those moments you talked about, looking at yourself in the mirror, damn mirror, like
yeah, because the thing about mirror, their function is to reflect who you are. So when you're looking at yourself, this is really you. And it's, if we'll go even deeper, this is, you always see yourself with some kind of filter, okay? And the more you love yourself, the more you love what you see. Because, you always say when you put on those pink glasses and see your whole reality in pink and everything is beautiful and the birds are singing and love is in the air everywhere I look around. But when you do that, you also see yourself with this, filter of pink, everything is great. But when you have gray sunglasses, and you look at yourself in a mirror and what you see is something that you don't like, this is how you see the reality as well. And everything around you as well. And when you're moving abroad and you look around and you don't like what you see, and then you look in a mirror and you say, who's this person? I hate her. And if it happened to you, you're not alone. It happens to us as well, Even today, even with all the work and the practice we did on ourselves, there are days, I gotta tell you, honestly, there are days I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I said to myself, I hate this person. I hate it. I know that I love it deep inside, but right now I hate you. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And, it takes a lot of honesty to say to yourself, deep inside, I know I love you, but right now, I hate you. And there's a really fine line between love and hate, usually. It's like the other way of the circle.
Yeah. And we're talking a lot about mirror and looking at yourself, but actually when we understand that as humans, society, we are all reflections of one another. We are all mirrors of one another. And this as well, it requires a lot of vulnerability and honesty to be able to look at someone else and be like, oh, they make me feel so bad. But actually, it's not about them. It's what we see from the reflection with them. And again, like the reason why sometimes we don't like other people is because they present something that we don't like about ourselves.
And that hurts so much. It's like, yeah, but I don't like this person. No, it's not about them. It's about you. What don't you like about yourself? Solve this and you'll solve all your relationships. And you know what? You don't have to love anyone. Everyone. Everyone. You don't have to love everyone in this world.
No, but you got to be honest with him why it works or not. But it works also on the other way around. I was just telling a friend of mine the other day, because we were talking about dating life, which goes with Valentine. And she said to me, like, but I know I'm an amazing person. How come it doesn't work for me? And I told her, you need to really believe that you're an amazing person. And you know what's the proof of it? Look at your friends. If you weren't a good person, you wouldn't have all those amazing friends that really love you for who you are. So it's just about finding, and that's what I said to myself all the time. I look at my friends, I'm like, all those people that I'm surrounded with are amazing people. And if they chose me as a friend, it says a lot about me. But I'm only able to say that because I've done the work. Because, there's a massive difference between saying it's a luck or coincidence or taking responsibility for what it is. I have great friends because I know I'm a great person. It's not by luck that I have them in my life.
This example brings me and make me think about, how many times you get compliments from others? Like people say, oh my God, you're so amazing. And you're like, nah, I'm not. And honestly, when I used to get compliments from others, I didn't believe it because I didn't believe this was true. So every time I got a compliment from someone else, I'm like, they're full of shit. What do they want from me? Because I don't see any other reason why they will say that thing to me, including my husband. Okay, I didn't believe every time he said, you look good, you're so smart. And I'm like, shut up, what do you want? And it's like, nothing. I don't want unconditional love. I don't want anything from you. I just love the person that you are. And I remember years ago, he said to me once, I really wish for you to one day love yourself the way I love you and to see yourself the way I see you. And I said to him, you know what? I really wish that too. Because I wasn't in this place.
I really remember it was probably 10 years ago or something like that. Your husband came to visit in Paris and he looked at you in a way that I was like, oh, I wish someone will look at me like that one day. But I remember, because I was in a really bad place, I was like, I wish I could look at myself that way.
Yeah.
And that's where the mirror comes in. Because when we look at ourselves, if we look at ourselves with those angry eyes and with those judgy and shameful and angry and sad and all of those, no, we should look at ourselves with anticipation and excitement and love and kindness and see all those flaws and be like, damn, I love that. I really love that. And for years, I can tell you, if you're watching the YouTube and not listening to us, I'm blonde and I have big breasts and I have green eyes, and everyone would only talk to me about those, and I was like, I don't want that. I thought about changing the color of my hair, and I was like, I need to lose a lot of weight and I need to cover myself, and then I was like, the same thing you said about your knees. I was like, but this is me. I'm never gonna be able to fully, I'm not gonna change. This is me. I need to accept the fact that people are commenting or complimenting on that. But I need to first love it, because when I will love it, I will not listen to it as criticism anymore. I will listen to it as a compliment. And a compliment is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And
you need to know how to get it, because you can be really embarrassed by compliments if you're not loving yourself first. And I was embarrassed a lot of times in my life when everyone, somebody told me a nice thing about me, and I was so embarrassed because I didn't believe it, because I didn't see it in myself first. So you gotta be the one that says it first. And that's about the good things, but about the bad things, your flaws.
Yeah.
You need to know them and love them. Because this is who you are. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not a good thing, and even if it's something you want to change, but you gotta say to yourself, well, this is me. I love the person that I am with this flaw, and I love myself enough, and I want to change that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm not changing it because I hate it. I'm not changing because I hate myself. I'm not changing it because someone else told me that this is not good. I'm changing it because I love myself. I want to be better.
Yeah. I think that's the key. When you understand that you're changing from the right reasons and not from the fact that you're running away from it, or that you are punishing yourself for it, because you love yourself, you can change that. Because you appreciate the journey and the fact that you see changes, and you love every single step of this messy middle.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in like love at first sight, but also don't believe in endless love. Like it's only going to be amazing. No, it's going to be always a journey. There's going to be ups and downs, and days you love yourself more, and days you're like, oh, no, forget it. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's okay. You can always,
and that's okay,
come back tomorrow, and you'll still be there. And like you said, it's a journey, it's a practice, and it never ends until you decide so. And you gotta work in order to get there. And for that, we have a couple of things.
Yeah.
We want to advise you can start doing today. But remember, it's not that you'll do an exercise today and tomorrow morning you'll look at yourself in the mirror and say, who's that gorgeous woman I see? It's not gonna happen.
No.
We're not gonna lie to you. There is no magic tricks here. It's only work and honesty with yourself. So we have 3 tools for you. The first one is look at yourself in the mirror. It's so simple and so hard sometimes, especially if you're not in a good place with yourself right now, and your relationship with your status with yourself it's complicated. But try it. Every morning when you're brushing your teeth or you're washing your face, take a look at yourself. Just look there at the beginning. Just look at yourself. Then if this sounds like something you can do, or if after a few days you can start smiling to yourself, say hello, like out loud, and try to really, you don't have to do much, just look at yourself, smile, say good morning, that's it. And even before you go to sleep sometime, hi, good night, that's it. And it sounds simple, maybe stupid.
No, but it's a complicated exercise. And I can tell you that when I started doing that, again, like probably 7 years ago, something like that, I went all in, and I was doing it naked, completely, full body, to just take off all the masks. I would put them 5 minutes after to go outside, okay? But with me, I was like, I need to be able to see me. And it took me weeks before, or maybe even longer, long weeks.
15
before I was able to look at myself and see the good in it. But I had to look at myself every single day and not hide, because I can share with you. Remember, I said I didn't like my home, so I would do everything I could not to be there. And actually, I left home before I could barely open my eyes, and I would come back home at like midnight or 11:30, and I would never turn on the lights in the house. Like, I would go in, put my clothes off, put my PJs on, brush my teeth in the dark, and go to bed. And I put myself, this was one of the first tasks, to be like, when I wake up, open my eyes, fully naked, look at myself for a couple of minutes every single day. And it was hard.
That's advanced.
It was hard. But because I had my own issues, I had to do that.
Yeah. And that's a great exercise to come back to, whenever you're feeling like disconnected from yourself a little bit, even if you're in a great place with yourself, from time to time. I do this exercise from time to time, for a couple of weeks to remind myself that I actually love this.
Yeah.
This reflection.
So yeah, the first tip we have for you today, and again, it's really important for us to tell you this. Those are things that work for us. You need to find what works for you, but it's not a overnight kind of thing. It's not that you're going to look at yourself in the mirror right now and it's going to be amazing tomorrow morning. It's still always a journey. It's not a magic trick. It's a journey. And if you look at it, you decide what works for you and you keep on doing it as long as you need. And sometimes you'll stop and you'll come back to it, as Mayan just said, and you'll do it again and you'll stop and you come back to it and you do something else. But it's about finding what works for you. And when you learn to look at yourself and to smile at yourself and listen to yourself, then you know what works for you. So find what it is. But those are the three things that works for us. So as we said, the first one was look at yourself in the mirror. Say hi, do it naked, smile, find a way that works for you. Find your way, but do it. The second one we have for you is looking at what's your role in situations that you love and appreciate in your life. Because you play a role in everything in your life. But usually we'll look at outside and be like, oh, I love this or love that. And my positive moment of the day, we talk a lot about positive moments of the day. My positive moment of the day is the fact that I've seen the sunset. The sunset is there for everyone, but not everyone saw it. So your role in this is the fact that you took a couple of moments to allow yourself to see the sunset. This is just one example. But it's true for everything.
Yeah.
You play a role. And when you look at the things you love doing, you consider positive in your life, turn the camera. What is your role in this thing that you love?
How did you make it work? Because things don't just happen. You usually have a role, even if you don't see it, immediately.
Yeah.
Look for your role in what you have done to get the things that make you feel good, that things that you love.
Because when you understand that you have a role in the things that you love, then it's easier for you to be like, ooh, so I've done something good. I have good within me. It's not all bad. It's not all flaws. And it's true with, as I mentioned earlier, when you look at your friends and you're like, I love this person. I really love this person. But what's my role in this relationship? Well, if I love this person, it says a lot about me as well.
Yeah.
It's true with friendship. It's true with partners. It's true with your kids or family. You decided to move abroad. You know how many times people tell me, gosh, you're so brave. I wish I would do half of the things you're doing. And for years, I couldn't say about myself that it's a brave thing. I thought it's from the wrong reasons because I was restless. But now I'm like, yeah, because I love that. I started listening.
Love it.
So what's your role?
And the third thing is a practice called Ho'oponopono. And it's an Hawaiian traditional thing that I discovered a few years back when I was dealing with anxiety. And one of the people that helped me during this long period, showed me this practice, which is very, very simple. Again, simple, but not that easy to do.
Yeah.
So it's 4 mantras that you repeat to yourself, and ideally you'll do it to every part of your body, like scanning your body, saying those 4 mantras. And the mantras are: I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. And you're not saying it to somebody in front of you, you're saying it to yourself and to your body parts. For example, starting with the head, you say it to your head: I'm sorry for the things that I've done to you. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you for being this head. And your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your neck, your shoulders, your breast, your belly, your back, your ass, your knees. And I remember I was doing it, in the shower, going, scanning my body from head to toes, saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And you will notice this change of energy in your body while you're saying these things. And if you can say it out loud, it's even, bigger and
It embodied it.
more powerful. But even if you're saying, only by heart to yourself, quietly, it's transformational. And again, it takes time. Sometimes I was like, why would I thank my knees, and why would I say sorry to those knees? And then I started thinking, these knees, they carry me. They carry my whole weight, It's amazing. Thank you. Sorry that I jump all the time. Please forgive me. I love you. And I'm like, oh my God, I love my knees? Yeah. And stupid things, like my fingers. Why would I thank my fingers? Or, my breast, or my toes, or my nose. But actually, you'll discover it's an amazing practice. And if you want to, read more about it, and
there's
where it came from, it's called Ho'oponopono. And so simple and really, really powerful.
Yeah, and it's working with body parts, but at some point you can go deeper to your inner body parts or the emotions behind them, and actually then treating yourself, your heart, your mind, your soul,
your whole
self with love and compassion. And it really works, but it requires practice, as everything we said here. It's not like you're not gonna say it one time and then that's it. But when you do it enough, I should maybe do it again.
Yeah.
I used to do it a couple of years ago, and I feel like I could do it again.
And once you start using those words that we sometimes struggle to use because of our ego, we find it easier to use towards others as well. So I remember when I started practicing this, I found myself saying to people all the time, thank you, I love you, and sorry, please forgive me. And not in a soft, poor way. Oh, so sorry, please forgive me. It's not about that. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And people are like, what's happening to you? And I'm like, nothing. It had nothing to do with you. It's all about me. But sometimes those words go out so easily, it's so smoothly. And the ego doesn't interfere with it. So I can say sorry to people. I can say that I love people with not having any, conditions
for it, without asking for anything in return.
No, nothing.
So really, we shared with you like 3 things that worked for us. And please, like, if you want to know more about that, you can always talk to us. We're here for you. We care. We love you. Yes, we love ourselves unconditionally. We're not asking for anything in return. We're here to help you. So if you feel like you want to share something about that, please let us know. But just to remind you, we talked about looking at yourself in the mirror. The second thing was really like highlighting your role in the things you love in your life and the good things that happens in your life. And the third thing is the Ho'oponopono practice that has 4 mantras that we love. But before we finish, just the last moment. Again, we started this conversation to tell you that this is your time to love yourself unconditionally. And I want us to tell it to you once again. This is your time to love yourself unconditionally. Not tomorrow.
As you are.
As you are.
Exactly as you are. Because even if you don't see it right now, you're an amazing person. We know you are. And if you'll start practicing and start loving yourself, you'll discover it as well. And love yourself now as you are. And then everything else will look different to you.
Yeah. And it's Valentine Day. If you feel like it, go and
buy yourself flowers or chocolate,
whatever you want. But yeah, it's first of all, love yourself. Then everything else will look completely different. And it's a practice. It's a journey. It's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
And we wish you exactly that. To love yourself on Valentine's Day and on every single day.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to us. We really hope this was valuable to you. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel or to the podcast on Spotify or on any other platform that you love.
Yeah, and leave us a review and everything. You know how it works, right? So we'll leave you to it, and we look forward talking to you and sharing with you our next thoughts next week.
Yes.
And see you then.